Hello students, in this video I am going to discuss with the, as you see, chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, we have done with the process monohybrid and dihybrid process. We have done. We have also seen the deviations from Mendel's law. Okay, so now we are going to do chromosomal theory of inheritance. So what is chromosomal theory of inheritance? It was Sutton and Boveri. You have to remember the name of the scientists also. Okay, Sutton and Boveri in 1902. Okay, for the first time they came up with the idea of this chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, now what is said here, what they did, they actually link up the knowledge, link up the idea of the chromosome with Mendel's principles. Okay, and that is what the it becomes chromosomal theory of inheritance, because Mendel, if you remember, he did not know anything about chromosomes. Okay, it was Sutton and Boveri who linked the idea of chromosome later on with the Mendel's principle, so it becomes the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Now let me go to the history little bit before 1902. What happens is that till 1900, okay, you can say till the beginning of the 1900, Mendel's theory was not much known to people. It was not much known to the people, the contemporary scientists, the biologists of his time. The reason behind, first of all, he Mendel, he told about the genes, the factors. Actually, he was the first person who told about the factors. Okay, and he said that the factors which control over the expression of the characteristics from in the generations, which was very new to the this idea was very new to the biologists. They did not accept this. It was very new for them, something unacceptable for them. Okay, so because he could not give any physical proof, evidence that yes, this is the factor which is responsible for transmitting the characteristics and expressing, controlling over the characteristics from generation to generation. No evidence was there. That's why it was not accepted, first of all. And then also Mendel, he used mathematics to explain a biological phenomena, right? We have seen in the monohybrid cause, in the dihybrid cause, we have seen how to calculate out the proportions, the percentage and all. Okay, so that this kind of mathematics, that is that simple mathematics that we use, that Mendel used to express, to understand the biological phenomena, this was also very new and something unacceptable for those, for the biologists of his time. Okay, that is why these are the reasons that his theory was neglected in the beginning. But then from 1900, what happens is that due to the advancement in the discovery of the technology field, the advancement in the microscope development, okay, people studying was studying about about the Mendel's experiment again. They restarted thinking about what Mendel said. The experiments people started doing again, what Mendel did. Okay, and then slowly while they were observing what Mendel said, and due to the, as I said, due to the advancement in the microscopy, people are coming to know about the cell division first time. Okay, they were coming to know about cell division. They then nucleus was developed later on. While the observing those cell division, they have found that something look like nucleus which doubles in number, and then it divides into two separate cells. Okay, so nucleus they developed. Then what they developed, they found out the chromosomes, and people also observed something look like chromosome. They stained it, colored it, and they found that a chromosomes are also there. And while nucleus is dividing, getting into the new cells, next generation cells, chromosomes are also inheriting. Okay, so this was Sutton and Boveri who in 1902, okay, they observed, they noticed the behavior of the chromosome. Okay, and they link up the behavior of the chromosome with the behavior of the gene, what Mendel said, the factor, what Mendel said. What Mendel said in the law of dominance, if you remember, he said that factors control over the characters it inherits from generation to generation. if you look at the, if you remember, recall the monohybrid cross. Okay, I told you that the tall rate was there in the parent. It was 100% in the first generation and 75% in the second generation. It means Mendel thought that something is there that is inheriting from parent to first to second generation without any change. That's something Mendel told as factor. So it means Mendel told that it was the factor which is actually inheriting from generation to generation. Right, so the same thing here, that this behavior that Bovary and Sutton also observed that chromosome also inherit from generation to generation. Okay, so they link up these two ideas. Okay, Mendel's factor inheriting from generation to generation, and chromosome also what they observe, Bovary and Sutton, that they also inherit from generation to generation, because they have seen while cell is dividing, the along with the nucleus, the chromosomes also going from the parent to daughter cells. So parent to daughter cells means what? From one generation to next generation. Okay, as nucleus is going into daughter cells, it means the chromosomes are also going into daughter cells. That this behavior they observe, chromosomes behavior, and they link up this idea what Mendel said, that factor also inherit from generation and generation to generation. They are controlling over the characteristics, right? I hope you understand this point. Now second, what they have link up, what they have thought is that chromosomes are, they observe that chromosomes are found in pair. Chromosomes found in pair, because by the time meiosis, cell division also was discovered by scientists. Okay, and they found that chromosomes, they pair up during cell division. Okay, like Mendel said that there is a pair of factor. Okay, Mendel told about this pair of factor, right? Pair of factor, Mendel told about this. Now what are those? We have seen that one gene contains two alleles there. We have already practiced this, like tall, capital T, two alleles are there, pair of alleles, or you can say pair of factors, or capital T, small t, this is a pair of factor, small t, pair of factor. So in every experiment, even in the deviating experiments also, we have seen that genes, they are having pair of factors, alleles there. So this same pairing, same kind of pairing, they also observe, means Sutton and Bovary, they also observe the pairing of the chromosomes during the meiosis cell division. So they link up this idea also, that chromosomes behavior, pairing of chromosome behavior is similar to the what Mendel said, the pairing of the alleles here. Okay, now let me tell you about the meiosis, what exactly they meant to say in this case. Okay, so first of all, if you look at the meiosis, it will be we have already studied about meiosis, I know it, but still, see, in the meiosis, one cell is there, okay, which is a 2n, right? And then what happens? It undergoes meiosis 1 cell division. After meiosis 1 cell division, what happens? The daughter cells are produced, okay, and they are having n number of chromosomes. So chromosome number reduced to half after meiosis 1 in the daughter cells. Now what happens? These daughter cells undergo further division, that is called meiosis 2, okay, and 4 daughter cells are produced here, and all are having n. So ultimately from 2n we are getting 4 daughter cells with the haploid number of chromosome. So this is where exactly we can see the reduction division that takes place. This part is exactly as like mitosis, equational division. They are the parent for these daughter cells, these two are the parent cells. So parent also n, daughters also n. This is equational division happened here. But in this case, parent and daughters are this. So this is reduction division we can see. Understood? Now, if this part is clear, now let me show you what happens, how the homologous pairing, that what Sutton and Bovary was talking about, the chromosome pairing that takes place, that the link up with the pairing of the alleles. See, in the meiosis, okay, there is a phase that is called zygote. Okay, that comes under meiosis, that comes under prophase 1 of meiosis 1. Okay, zygote phase. Now in the zygote phase, what happens is that homologous pairing takes place. Homologous pairing means two chromosomes of same size and shape comes together and they pair up. homologous pairing. This was observed by Sutton and Boveri. Okay, so chromosomes of same size and shape. This is one chromosome. Okay, and let's take another chromosome of almost same size and shapes. Okay, so this is the homologous pairing that is developed here. So this kind of pairing that occur during the zygote stage of the prophase 1. Okay, so all the means 46 chromosomes. If human cell, if we consider 46 chromosomes are there, so if they pair up like this, ultimately there will be what, 23 pairs that we talk about, the 23 pairs, 2n diploid organisms, 23 pairs. This is how the homologous chromosome pair up and it becomes 23 pairs out of 46. Okay, now what happens is that Sutton and Boveri also say, Sutton and Boveri argued that this pairing of the homologous chromosome and the separation of the homologous chromosome, further separation of the homologous chromosome, lead to the separation of the alleles. This is where also they have connected with the Mendel's principle, because if you remember, Mendel also said in the law of segregation that while forming gametes, alleles separate from each other. Right? Now what we have understood about alleles, one chromosome having the two chromatids are there, okay, and DNA are present here, alleles present in both the chromatids, right, and they together formed one gene. If you remember allele definition that we have explained. Now it means that now they have said that this pairing of the homologous chromosome, okay, will be leading to the separation, okay, and then it will be leading to the separation of these chromosomes, ultimately leads to the separation of alleles. So they are actually trying to link up this pairing and the separation of this chromosome ultimately leads to the separation of the alleles during gamete formation, what Mendel said. Now how they link up, let us understand this step by step. So first you can see during zygote stage the pairing takes place. Clear? Okay. Now when they will get separate, so pairing is done. Now Sutton and Boveri told about separation. So where the separation will take place? Okay, let me directly go to the metaphase 2 stage. Okay, during the metaphase 2 stage, what happens is that, suppose it's a cell here. Okay, it's a cell here. Now in the metaphase 2, what happens is that the 23 pairs that are already done, 23 pair. Okay, so all the pairs, means all 23 pairs will come at the equator, right? Metaphase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just assume that, as I don't have much place to draw 23 pair, so just assume there are 23 pair I am drawing here. Okay, so these are all a pair. Red chromosome and the blue chromosomes are the pairs. Okay, so you see two chromosomes are lined up here. So this is the pairing of the chromosomes. So two metaphase plate develops during metaphase 1. Okay, two metaphase plate develops. So because one chromosome this line, another chromosome this line. So you can see that pair of chromosomes they lined up here. Okay. Now what happens? This is during the metaphase 1. Now during anaphase what happens? During anaphase, these chromosomes, there is pairing of homologous chromosomes. The pairs will be separated now by the spindle fibers from the centrioles. Okay, what will happen? This pair of chromosome will be separated. So one chromosome, these chromosomes will be moving to this pole. The red chromosomes will be moving to this pole, and the blue chromosomes will be trapped to this pole. Okay, so by the end of you can say anaphase, what happens? What we'll see here? Okay, let me just modify this part a little. Okay. Now see, I'm just separating this area so that I can show you properly. See, when these chromosomes come to this pole by the end of anaphase, then see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the chromosomes come to this pole, and this side also these red chromosomes will be moving to that pole. Okay, chromosome move that pole. Now you see here, Now what happens is that the chromosomes are covered. This is what happens at the end of meiosis 1. Okay, so the two cells will be produced there, and the two cells will be having you can say that one chromosome to both the poles. Now it was a pair in the lineup. How many pairs were there? 23 pairs were there, right? It means 46 total chromosomes. Now out of 46, 23 pair, half came here, half goes there. This is, I hope, clear, right? Total number of chromosome lined up here 46, 23 pair. Now half chromosome move to this side. It means 23 chromosome come to this side, 23 chromosome go to that side. So ultimately this pole, this cell, which is ultimately going to divide into cells, this cell is going to have 23 chromosomes. This is going to be 23 chromosomes. So initially how many it was? 46. Now the pairs separated. So ultimately 23 chromosomes we got to both the daughter cells. This is what happened at the end of meiosis 1. Okay. So how the reduction division that takes place from the chromosomes, from 46 to 23 chromosome become. Now the problem is that the new cells which were developed by the end of meiosis 1, okay, just once again, the new cells that were produced by the end of meiosis 1, okay, now what happens is that they have chromosomes, but they have chromosomes with two chromatids. Okay, if you look at the each chromosome here, now take this chromosome for example, this chromosome. Okay, so if I magnify this, so you will see here that it is having two chromatids in it. Okay, two chromatids in it, two chromatids that form one chromosome. So in this case also same thing happens. If you magnify each of the chromosome, you will see they consist of two chromatids. Okay, so when after meiosis 1 daughter cells are produced, they are having two chromatids, 23 chromosomes, but each chromosome having two chromatids. Clear? Now let's move on to the meiosis 2. Now what happens in the meiosis 2? So in the first step we have seen the how chromosomes separated. Now still separation of chromosomes are left yet. What happens is that in the meiosis 2, now I am showing one cell only. Look at the one cell. Now the cells which are produced by the end of meiosis 1, I am taking one of that cell. Okay, how many chromosomes were there? 23 chromosomes. Each chromosome contains how many chromatids? Two chromatids. Okay, now what happens? Now meiosis 2, if I am going directly to the metaphase 2 stage. In the metaphase 2 stage, all the chromosomes comes at the center, forming metaphase plate. Right, means 23 chromosomes come at the center. Which phase I am talking about? Metaphase 2. Okay, 23 chromosomes come at the center. Now what will happen? During anaphase, again there will be separation. Now in this case, see, here only one metaphase plate forms. There is no pairing anymore. Pairing of two chromosomes are not there. One chromosomes are lined up here, but each chromosome contains two chromatids. Now the chromatids will be separated from the chromosome during anaphase 2. So one chromatid from the chromosome will be separated, okay, and will be moving to both the poles. So one chromatid will be separated from the chromosome. Okay, so ultimately when I will get a new cell will be, I am just showing directly here only, when new cells are going to be produced, they will be having one chromatids only, no two chromatids here, one chromatids only, because chromatid pairing, because one chromosome two chromatids. Now pair of chromatids separated by the spindle fibers. So chromatids, only single chromatids to both the poles. I mean ultimately they are going to form two cells, right? So now look, when the two cells are produced from this cell at the end of meiosis 2, okay, two cells are produced. Now they are having single chromatids here. Okay, so 23 chromatids here, 23 chromatids here, right? Now here it was what? 23 chromosomes. 23 chromosomes with each chromosome two chromatids per chromosome. It was the situation in the starting. Okay, 23 chromosomes lined up here, and per chromosome how many chromatids? Two chromatids. Now after meiosis 2, what happens? Now From the chromosome, the chromatids are separated now. So one chromatids come to this cell, one chromatid goes to that cell. So now 23 chromatids here, 23 chromatids here. These chromatids are now known as chromosomes. Now we will not be mentioning these are as chromatids. These are now chromosomes. So how many chromosomes are here? 23. Here 23 chromosomes are there. But now what is the difference? Now these 23 chromosomes consist of only one chromatid. Now each chromosome, so one, now here one chromatid per chromosome. It was two chromatid per chromosome in the starting. Now one chromatid per chromosome comes to the newly formed cells. So another cell also undergo the same process. It will be also having the same thing. So ultimately what we get here, let's come to that the beginning. The first what we have seen there, that first the cell with 46 chromosome undergo meiosis, one cell division, two cells are produced having 23 chromosomes. In these chromosomes, each chromosome contain how many chromatids? Two chromatids. Now these cells undergo meiosis, two cell division, and ultimately 1, 2, 3, 4 cells are produced. Chromosome number will remain same because these are now chromosome numbers 23. So these are technically what? Chromatids. So each chromosome contain in this case one chromatid. It means these are now chromosomes. Chromatids are now known as chromosomes. So this is how ultimately you see here what happens. Okay, this is one chromosome. Okay, and this was another chromosome in the beginning. Okay, now what happens in this stage? What happens in this stage? Red chromosome separated and blue chromosome separated. Chromosomes are separated with two chromatids if you look it properly. Now at this stage what happens? Now the chromatids are separated. Okay, let's not draw like this. Suppose from here, from this cell, these two cells are produced though. So this cell having one chromatid, this cell having one chromatid. Okay, and look at this one from this cell. So this is having one chromatid, this is having one chromatid. Okay, now these chromatids, single chromatids are the chromosomes. Now you see ultimately from here how the separation of chromosome takes place. It was homologous pair as Boveri and Sutton observed. And then further division, the pairing are separated, so chromosomes are separated. Second stage, from the chromosome, chromatids are separated. So when chromatids are separated by the end of meiosis 2, it means alleles are separated. So these are what ultimately produce. These are gametes. These are nothing but what? Gametes. Meiosis, cell division leads to the production of gametes only, as you know, right? So the germ cell is this is the germ cell which is diploid in nature. Now the gametes which are produced, they are haploid in nature. One chromosomes are there. So these are nothing but the alleles. So now chromatid separation means alleles are separated. Clear? I hope it's clear now. So this is what? This is the gamete product. That is what Mendel said in law of segregation. While forming gametes, the alleles separate from each other. Okay? Suppose this was the example. So while forming gametes, the alleles separate from each other. One goes. So one comes here. So it was, if it is TT, ultimately it comes TT. Okay. So while forming gametes, okay, alleles separate from each other. So this is what Sutton and Boveri linked up with the Mendel's principle. So I hope you understand now, right? So Mendel also told about separation of alleles. Okay, and Sutton and Boveri also observed during meiosis cell division how the chromosomes getting separated. Ultimately, total separation that takes place one chromatids, that are known as chromosomes now. So one chromatid means one alleles here, because two alleles are present in two separate chromatids. Two chromatids like this. So look at here. Initially, this is the chromosome having consist of two chromatids, right? The two chromatids contain one allele, and that forms one gene. Remember the explanation of allele. Now at the end, what happened is that this chromosome from the one, this is one chromosome, from the chromosome two chromatids are separated. Two chromatids are separated now. From here two chromatids separated, two chromatids separated. Okay, so now when this chromatid separated, this chromatid contains what? Alleles. Means chromatid separation means allele separation, and that is what Mendel said. While forming gametes, the alleles separate from each other. We can see here as chromatid separate here. So that is why Sutton and Boveri, okay, they linked up the concept, the idea of chromosome and its behavior, okay, including its separation process with Mendel's principle. This is what principle, a chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so let's conclude it. Okay, let's conclude it. First point where Sutton will be allow concluding means let us see that, I mean, what Mendel, which points Mendel linked up with the principle of inheritance. What I mean with the Mendel's principle. So first point, Mendel talked about factors. Okay, so Sutton and Boveri also observed genes there. Second, Mendel told that factors they control over the characteristics. So the controlling power, control expressions, right? They also observe genes expressing expression helps in controlling expression of the characteristics. Okay. Third, Mendel said that these factors they I mean inherit from generation to generation. So generation to generation factors move. So they have also observed that chromosomes, okay, chromosomes, okay, move from or transmit from generation to generation. They have observed this. Okay. Number 4, what they have observed? They have observed that pairing of homologous chromosome. Pairing. They have. Oh, sorry. Mendel observed. Mendel told about what? Pairing of alleles. Pairing of alleles in a gene, or you can say right here genes here only. Genes. No problem at all. Okay. Same what Sutton and Boveri told that they have found the pairing of chromosomes. Chromosomes. Just now we have seen homologous pairing and all. Okay. Number 5, what Mendel said that while forming gametes, alleles separate from each other. So he told about the alleles separation. Allele separation. Same, Sutton and Boveri also observed the what chromosomes. They told that the pairing of the chromosome and then the separation of the chromosome, then the separation of the chromosome ultimately leads to the separation of alleles, right? So let me make one more step here. Separation of chromosomes, right? Separation of chromosomes. Now this leads to separation of chromatids. We have seen here, right? Just now we have seen how meiosis to separates the chromatids. So separation of chromatid means separation of alleles. So what actually Mendel failed to explain, Mendel fails to give a proof, evidence. Okay, Sutton and Boveri did that. Okay, so this is how Sutton and Boveri they link up the concept of the chromosome of the gene with Mendel's principle. Okay, so I hope you understood these things. Every step, guys, please understand properly. Okay, watch the video again and again and note down every important points what you have understood. Okay, if anything still left not understood, I am always there to solve a problem. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video.